Good morning, everyone. Melissa B here. Hope you're all well. If you're in Australia, it is the morning. If you're in the US, it's Sunday night. And speaking of which, today I am chatting with Carnivore JT. Really excited to have him on. We've been wanting to catch up for a while now. And yeah, I'm really excited for what we're going to share with you all. Just before we get into that, reminder, we are less than 2 weeks away from Carnivore Collective Live. So if you're in Australia, if you're in Adelaide, please, purchase your ticket because they're really selling out. We're very close to it being sold out. So would love to see you at Carnivore Collective Live. A reminder to purchase tickets. So I'm just going to get JT on. Awesome, got your request.
How did that go? Let's see. Awesome. Hey.
Go. All right.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can. It kicked me out of my headphones, but that's okay. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Let's take these off.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Very well. I was just saying before you jumped on, good morning to those in Australia. Good Sunday evening to everybody on your side of the world.
Yeah, it's difficult scheduling stuff when you're an entire day ahead of us.
I know, right? I think we did well. I think we did really well.
Yes. Yes.
Monday morning's a good time. People will be heading to work, so I'm hoping we get in front of lots of people today, and just really keen to hear from you and hear your story, and talk a bit about what you're doing, a bit about what I'm doing. And what I love about Carnivore community is the love and support that we have for each other in sharing stories, and also utilizing those opportunities to empower other people through the sharing of those stories. So yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I would love for you just to start a bit with your story. How did you get to here? And if you could tell whoever's watching, how you came to Carnivore, and a bit about your backstory, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So I kind of ended up with Carnivore through animal-based, which a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up animal-based because I was tired of not feeling good. And it wasn't bad. I didn't have anything super bad I was trying to overcome, but I had a period where I went super clean eating, lean meats, vegetables, no processed foods, no alcohol, and lost a little bit of weight, but I didn't feel that good. And I was like, man, this is dumb. What am I doing? And so I literally stopped. I did it for 90 days. It's not like I did it for a couple of days and stopped. And then I just gained all the weight right back. And I didn't have that much. I ended up losing 35 pounds overall. But yeah, I just gained the weight back. So I was like, this is dumb. Why not just eat what I like and deal with it? Yeah. And it wasn't until I was in Vegas and I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable at the pool. I didn't feel good when I was eating. And so I was like, all right, I got to change something up. And so I started animal-based and literally instantly felt better. And so I did animal-based for about a year. I was minor animal-based. I didn't eat a ton of carbs. And then I finally went full carnivore, and it's been about a year now that I went full carnivore, and I just haven't looked back because I don't need to, right? I'm not somebody that's trying to deal with a specific condition, but I just feel best this way. And so it gives me a unique perspective, because most people think it's only the people who have an eating disorder or can't adhere to something else or have a severe autoimmune condition or any number of things. And I'm like, no, I do it because I choose to.
Yes, I love that. And I have this conversation often where I say, when people ask me, how can you only eat meat? And I say, I really wish the question you are asking me is, or would be, why are you eating red meat? Because I'm making a choice. I actually don't have to do this, but I'm choosing to. And wouldn't you more like to know why I'm doing this? And I love that. You don't need to, but you're choosing to, which is exactly what carnivore lifestyle really is all about. We hear it over and over again from anybody. That's once you've been there, you don't really see any reason to go back.
Yeah, and it's true. And I've done a couple experiments and variations and tried eating different ways. Like I'm eating carbs right now, not very much. Like I'm between 50 and 100 grams, and I'm just like, nah. Like I don't know. Like I feel fine.
Yeah.
I could do this long term, but I just don't feel as good. And so I'm like,
Yes.
why? Like why would I go back to this if I just don't feel as good? I don't have a performance in the gym. I don't have, any of that, benefits that I'm supposed to get from carbs. And I don't feel as good as when I'm strict carnivore. So long term, why? Right. And people think that if you choose to go carnivore, that you can never eat anything ever again. You can eat whatever you want. Like, stop.
Yes.
So it's funny to me that people want to argue with how you are doing, right? Like they want to tell you that you're not doing okay. And I'm like, I think I'm doing all right, but okay.
I agree. There's people around me that just, and sometimes they're the people who are closest to you, maybe sometimes even family. They say, you should really try and eat a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I'm like, does it look like I need anything other than what I'm eating? Can you not see the vibrancy and the ongoing health that I have or I hold? Why would I need anything else? Doesn't really seem to me like I need that. All the fuel I'm giving my body is exactly what it needs because it's functioning how it's meant to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like people will go, they're like, oh, we can talk about the long-term stuff. We can, at the end of the day, if your body is responding that positively, right? Like, so I had stuff that went away that I didn't know was diet related, right? I had psoriasis go away. I had eczema basically go away. Allergies reduce, like all of these things that if all of these are getting better, if I feel better, if, it's XYZ, ABC, all the way down the list, I'm not going to go based on some weak epidemiological study and stop doing what I'm doing because 20 years down the road, I might get heart disease when statistics say I'm going to get it anyway, right? Like it's like 70% in the United States are going to be diagnosed with some form of heart disease. Me eating red meat isn't going to accelerate that.
No, exactly right. Hey, how does it feel for you from a mental health perspective? Do you get mental clarity? And a lot of people talk about brain fog being lifted, and just I often say I feel like I'm seeing the world differently and with a lot more color and vibrancy. Not sure if you feel that.
Mine's consistency. So when I am eating a lot of carbs, I'll go through a roller coaster, right? Like I'll have highs where I feel like I'm on crack or something, and then an inevitable low, right? And so you go through this roller coaster. When I'm on carnivore, it's just the same. Like from the moment I wake up all the way to the moment I go to bed, I'm not like super high and like bouncing off the wall, but it's not 3:00 in the afternoon and I'm ready to take a nap.
Yes.
So it's the consistency. And I realize like when I'm eating a bunch of carbs and you have that down period, right? I don't have like problems with depression or anything, but I feel these times where I'm like, and I can see how somebody could get like seriously depressed, like going through this roller coaster. That is clearly just diet, right? Like, because as soon as I eliminate that, I just go into this even keel, smooth sailing. I can, obviously there's times where I get burnt out, but that's because of the things I choose to do and not my just natural mental state. Yes,
exactly. With carnivore, I have noticed that you're not as hungry, and I was finding myself eating maybe one big meal a day, But actually recently I came to the conclusion that I was actually under eating because my metabolism had kind of slowed down a bit and I wasn't dropping body fat as easily as I had in the past. And so in 1 week, just a week or so ago, I upped my intake, my protein intake, and you know, dropped quite a few kilos in 1 week. And so sometimes, and this is what I say to people, especially people who I coach, women, because they're mostly getting started. Like, there's no right or wrong way. There's like what's right for you. And you also need to keep fine tuning and tweaking things. Is that what you mean when you say, you know, you try a little bit of carbs here, or, you know, like, are you always fine tuning your approach?
Yeah, I'm always wondering if it can be better, right? Like too often people go, "Oh, I feel good." I'm like, okay, well, could you feel better? And I'm somebody that's manipulated diet more than 99.99% of people on the face of the earth, right? Like, I spent a large portion of my 20s manipulating weight, manipulating diet, macros, water intake, all this kind of stuff. And so I have a pretty good grasp of what feels good and what doesn't.
Yes.
And I thought I knew what feeling good was, which didn't always correspond with how you looked, right? I had periods of my 20s that I looked fantastic, but did not feel good, right? Like, I had low energy, I had low, like, all of these things. And then now in my, technically I'm getting to my late 30s, I've realized that I feel better than I did in my 20s. I remember playing sports in college and waking up on Monday after weekend doubleheaders and just feeling like a bus ran me over, right? Like, you mold on into the athletic training office, you slump onto a table and you say, "Fix me," because I need to figure something out because I feel terrible.
Yeah.
And then you start to wise up a little bit and you realize that your diet's been terrible and all of this stuff. And then I started eating carnivore and I'm like, man, I can feel good all the time.
Yeah.
I don't have to bloat. I don't have nearly as many aches and pains. I'm a train wreck. Like, I had 4 surgeries by the time I was 21 years old.
Wow.
And so, like, my body is like, I've put myself through a lot of abuse.
Yes.
And it's an even keel feeling now. So it's been a lot better. Hold on. I might have to.
Okay. No worries.
Might have a little. Hey, Jack,
Right.
can you guys? Okay, buddy, I need you to figure something out, okay? Figure something out. All right.
That's okay. I understand. No problems. No problems. I agree with you about the age thing. I'm 41 and I feel so much better at 41 and now going into my 40s than I did in my 20s and 30s. I also had 2 children when I was 29 and 31. And the way I looked and felt in my 20s and 30s compared to how I feel now is, we'll say early 30s. So I started carnivore late 30s. It just doesn't compare. And I also often say that I feel like the only other time I ever felt similar to this was when I was about 18, you know. So it gives you this energy. And like, this is what I love to tell people, like, we're here wanting to share this message with people because of how it's making us feel. And the only reason why we come out and we speak about this is so that somebody else can feel the same. Why I often say I wouldn't want to have this experience and not share it with somebody else, because JT and I are here talking about it so that you who's watching. Yeah. Thanks. I can see there's a lot of people joining us. Thanks to all who have joined. I can see some of your messages. We'll get back to them a little bit later on. Hi to everyone that's joined. JT's just stepped away for a minute, I believe. Thanks to the person that said I look 21. I appreciate that. Brisbane. I'm Melissa. I'm from Adelaide. So yeah, please join me if you're in Australia and the joy of kids. I know, right? I don't have mine here this morning, but I know what it's like. Yeah, if you're in Australia, please, in 2 weeks' time, I'm actually hosting a carnivore event with the likes of Dr. Anthony Chafee, Professor Bart Kay, Dave Mack, Bella, Kerry Mann Jr. So if you're in Australia, come and join us. All good, JT?
Yeah, we'll see.
How many do you have?
2. They are 4 and 6.
Oh, good. Beautiful.
Yeah,
I've
so they're
got 9 and 11. So, yeah.
Yeah, two boys that like to
Yeah. Hey, whilst we're talking about kids, I think it's interesting also to talk about food for kids, and it's it's something that can be challenging, and I speak to a lot of carnivore mums, especially who we don't want to, and I say this because when I was young, my mum kind of made me have to eat what she thought was healthy foods, and those foods, and one of these foods was eggs. So now I can't eat eggs because it was really forced onto me, which I'm really upset about because I'd really like to. But I like to just lead by example and let my kids see what I'm doing, and then so I don't push anything on them. But my daughter in particular, if I'm sitting on this bench eating a steak, she will just give me a plate and will want slices of steak done for her, and she loves it. And I actually really love to observe her response to eating the steak, and I can see her like just loving the taste and wanting more and wanting more. And it's just a prime example of leading by example and letting them make their own choice, and then they come and want more. So not a big fan of telling the children what they should or shouldn't eat, but I do obviously kind of limit what they can and can't have as well.
Yeah. For sure.
Good. So what do you do? Do you work with people like one-on-one, or what do you do in the carnivore space in particular? I'd love to talk a bit more about what you're seeing because people are asking me questions all the time, like how do I get started, or what about a lot of people who are jumping straight to carnivore, the feelings they get afterwards, that oxalate dumping and those kind of symptoms. It's always good to just hear what someone else has either experienced or is experiencing with their clients or their community.
Yeah, so I kind of wear a lot of different hats. I have the main focus is content creation. So I obviously spend a lot of time doing that. I do one-on-one coaching. I don't promote that huge because I want to keep it a little bit smaller. So a lot of people don't even know that I do coaching because I don't get on there and do a lot of videos that promote it. I do have a business also that I run that has I have a cookbook and some carnivore merch, and I sell knives. And then it's just kind of a morph, right? Like it started out with just, hey, I'm going to post a bunch of carnivore stuff, and I'm going to teach myself video editing. Now I've got green screens and portable lights and all kinds of stuff. So it's nice because it gives me a little bit of a unique perspective because I can I'm not tied like some of the doctors are, where they have a practice that they have to stay within. I'm not a full-time coach, so I'm not spending all of my time, promoting that or dealing with clients on a 40 hours a week. I get to do and say kind of whatever I want, right? So I get to bring some stuff to the table that might be a little controversial.
Yes.
Some people don't like it. As you can see, I get some trolls that like to follow me around, which it comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But it gives me a chance to talk to a whole bunch of different people, and also I have my podcast too, right? So I try not to do just carnivore, try to expand it a little bit, especially into the low carb space. So it's just a little bit of everything. So I get to see a little bit of the sports performance side, a little bit of the weight loss, a little bit of people overcoming, chronic diseases with it. Yes. And then, just roll with it basically.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually seeing a lot more women, mostly women are contacting me who have been referred to the carnivore diet due to, like, they may be a naturopath or a natural health practitioner, or maybe an integrated doctor who have been recommending carnivore, and it seems to be a lot more common now to be hearing, I've been told to start carnivore, I don't know what to do, or I don't know where to start, or I'm having this symptom, what do you think this is, or did you experience this yourself? So I like to hear that there are some professionals actually making that decision to advise that path for people. And of course, everybody has their own choice, and I'm all about freedom of choice. And I loved what you said before about, you don't have to do carnivore for, 500 days straight. And if you went off of it, it would be bad. Like, I am fully about choice. So do what feels good for you. And I often think those contrasting experiences, like you said, like having some carbs and realizing you didn't feel good on it. Or if some of my clients say, oh, Mel, I feel really bad, I got off track. And I said, well, most importantly for me is that you get back on, and it's about teaching people a new way, letting them have that experience, and then them deciding what they want to do going forward. And if they decide to stay off, that's all on them. They know what they have to do to get back on. So, I love that freedom. That freedom of choice is really important for me personally, and to share with people, so you should never feel like stuck in a box, that you can or can't do something.
Yeah. I think people, they start to realize that once you get metabolically healthy, right, you have a lot of freedom that you can vary within. It's not something. Now, there are some people, right, and I don't want to discount their experience. There are some people who have very serious reactions if they veer off of carnivore, and that's due to their, whether that's an autoimmune condition or whatever their individual thing is. There's some people that need to be more strict. Yes. Oftentimes, though, people can get to a point of metabolic health where they have enough metabolic flexibility that you can vary, right, and you can bounce back quickly. Yes. I use myself as an example, and I know it's not always fair because I'm, sometimes a unique situation and it can frustrate people. But I could go off for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then usually without any negatives, except for the fact that I know I'm not feeling as good as I could.
Yes.
And then I go back, right? And then it's okay.
Yes.
So, people think that, and a lot of the content that goes against low carb, and a lot of the reasons I make some of the content I make is they'll tell people that the moment you go off of it, everything will revert back, right? Like, you'll get all your symptoms back, you'll gain all your weight back, and they make it sound like you have to now be carnivore every single day for the rest of your life. Like, well, no. Most people, if you're carnivore until you start getting healthy again, you could go off for a couple weeks at a time and be totally fine. Except for the fact that you would go, I probably feel a little bit better. And then you just go back on it. And it's super easy to bounce back and forth, and you don't gain all the weight back. You don't have all your symptoms come back. Like, if you go on benders, right? If you go out for 2 weeks, you just eat, like I did with one of my experiments. I ate 4,000 calories of standard American diet, and I was just eating the most ultra processed garbage you can imagine. And it caused some really bad eczema problems for me. But even then, that was like 10 days. It was like the 10th day that I did it. So for a week, I could just go on an absolute bender, and I'd feel bad. I wouldn't feel good, but I'm not going to gain a ton of weight. I'm not going to have all these problems come back. And then I can just go, you know what, I should probably shore this back up and get back on and be fine. So people have this idea that it only works as long as you are being super strict and not touching anything, and that's no way to live your life. And then you realize that people are living their life based on how they feel best. And if they feel best on carnivore, that's not an inconvenience.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And a lot of the time, people don't really know what their best is until they jump on carnivore. And but yeah, I do that. I've done that here and there too, where I've gone maybe a little bit ketovore. You know, I've been having discussions recently about carbs around training. I'm not sure if that's when it's happening for you. Is that are you linking in your carbs to your training schedule?
Yeah, I'm doing it right before I work out.
Yeah.
And I don't like it because I prefer to work out fasted. So I feel better when I work out fasted. Yeah. I don't have any extra energy per se, like maybe that little bit of a high, but I'm not noticing any benefit. And the drawbacks are is I now get cravings that I wouldn't normally have.
Yes.
Because I can go carnivore and be fine. Yeah. Like I can go throughout the day and not feel like I need to eat something. I've never been somebody that has sweet cravings. If anything, it was something like salty ultra processed.
Yes.
But just including a little bit.
Yes.
I'm like, the end of the day, I'm like, man, I'm not hungry, but I could like eat some stuff that I normally wouldn't. And so it's a little weird, right? I'm fine, like I feel fine, but it makes me question whether it's beneficial at all. And honestly, when I'm done with this, I probably will go back to carnivore and not add carbs because I don't see the benefit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm actually in a carnivore bodybuilding group on Facebook just to see what everybody's doing in that space. And a lot of them are doing that. They're kind of utilizing it around workout. So that's why I asked you. I don't, but mainly because of my metabolism kind of slowing down a little bit. But there are so many factors involved. I had a little bit of nervous system dysregulation and stress happening, and so there are so many factors that can be causing your body to do or not do, or to function, not function as it should be. So it's just there's just different stages. When I went to carnivore initially, I was actually doing a bikini bodybuilding comp prep, and I got really sick about 4 weeks beforehand for a week or so, and I came back and I was like, gosh, I don't want to ruin like this 3-4 months of prep. I really want to push through. And my coach said, you should just jump on carnivore for the last 4 weeks. And it like completely sucked my body in, and I was a completely new shape, and I had never been that lean in my whole life. And I just started it from then, and stayed on it. And then sometimes, I may add a little something in. It's usually, never anything like sugar, barely ever carbs, but I might add in some salad or something, maybe. And you're right, it really doesn't do much to you. Yeah, which is great.
People will tell me, they're like, you would be better if you ate carbs, or you wouldn't be as flat, or you can't get as good of a pump. You can't. I'm like, why are you telling me what happens to me based on what I eat? Like I've done it all. I've done if it fits your macros, I've done, keto type preps. I've done water manipulation and salt manipulation. All of these things, like I've done most of it outside of vegan. I've never done vegan, and I will never, because I just don't like vegetables. Right? Like there's some that sure I like, but I could never. Right? So like I've done it. Like I know the difference between eating super carbed up, and if I probably the one meal that I ate that would have the biggest difference on how I look in the morning after I work out would be if I ate just absolute junk food all night and drank a bunch of wine, and then woke up the next day and I would be more vascular on my pump. Yeah. But I'd also be more bloated in my stomach. So I'm like, is that worth the trade-off? Like, and so it's, like I said, and I've talked to people who have done bodybuilding shows. I actually just interviewed a guy who's an IFBB pro, who's now carnivore.
Mhm.
And I asked him, I was like, how close could you get on your prep doing just carnivore? And he's like, I could get pretty close. He's like, I'm going to have to like manipulate some stuff right at the end.
Yeah.
And but 99% of these people aren't doing a bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
Right? So you're arguing about whether I have 5% more vascularity by eating carbs versus not eating carbs.
Yeah.
When in reality, it doesn't matter. Right? Like, who cares? You know?
Yeah, I agree with you. And everybody is so different. So you, in most cases, you can't give the same advice for everybody anyway. And that's what people need to understand. Well, I'm here, and I'm sure you are too, just to empower people to learn, to get educated, and make their own choices. That's what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
And health first for me. You know, there is an element of, you know, physique and a look, but for me, it's mostly about a feel and being healthy. That's what it's all about for me. That's why as you probably know, I'm running an event in a couple of weeks' time here in Adelaide, Australia, like the first large carnivore event here in Australia. And yeah, my intention for that really is to just empower people through the information that's going to be shared by some really amazing guest speakers. So
that's awesome. Yeah, and that's exactly it. And 95% of my content is to show people that there's nuance in nutrition, right? Like anybody that says, you know, you hear this every day, carbs are your main energy source. Okay, cool. Carbs are your main energy source. They are not mine.
Yeah.
It does not have to be that way. There is nuance to it. There's a reason that our mitochondria can use fatty acids and pyruvate, right? You can do either. And my problem is no, this is the way it is. You have to eat carbs. You have to have carbs for performance. You have to, have carbs for your hormones. You have to have whatever it is, like on and on and on and on. You have to. I'm like, no, you can be healthy being vegan. Do I recommend it? No. Is it going to take a little more work and you have to be a little more on top of it? Yes.
Yeah.
But if the human body can be healthy vegan and healthy carnivore, you can't tell me that there's one thing that I have to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, you're going to get scurvy. Who gets scurvy? Right? Like, people are not getting scurvy. Sure, some people are, but 99% of the time it's a malnutrition thing. Right? It's a lack of nutrition. It's not, I didn't take my vitamin C pill today.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, long-term ketosis is not good for you. I mean, just on and on and on and on. And, we try and reference all of these studies. And again, it's people coming down that say, you have to do this, right? You have to eat more fiber. You have to eat more vegetables. You have to eat less animal fats. You have to eat more. No, you don't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
Right? There's two sides to every coin when it comes to nutrition.
Yes.
And outside of super basic physiological principles, people can manipulate it to feel their best. And the number of people that have felt good on carnivore, it's worth a lot of people to try it. And then they realize, oh, I guess I don't need carbs. Or I guess I don't need fiber. And so that's most of my content. Is most of it is not, I'm trying to prove that carnivore is better. I'm sure somebody will find one thing where I said, but I don't say carnivore is better. I don't say it's best for everybody. I don't say it's better for performance. I don't say it's better for building muscle. But I think a lot of people would benefit from it. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that about your content, because you've got that variety of message coming through, which is great, which is what people can relate to, because we live in a world like that, where there is variety of choice, and people approach things differently, One of the things that comes up a lot for me, and I'm not sure how many people like this kind of experience you have, but I often have a conversation with my coach about why people do or don't do something. And that seems to be a really interesting message or conversation being had a lot lately, because it's just, I just don't like that people have to wait until they have to make change to make change. So what kind of advice do you have for people who may be wanting to go on to carnivore and either are afraid to get started or, I just see so many women especially wanting to create change in their life, and it's hard, or there's never a right time, or I'm so busy, or I can't focus on it. And seems to be a really regular message, and it's tough for someone like myself who just wants to see the best in people to see them struggle like that. What would be your kind of thoughts or advice on that for anyone that's on the fence or not sure how to get started, or if they even can do it?
My thing is to take a look at, like, let's say 30 days, right? Do it for 30 days. And people, like, think of the things that you could do for 30 days. You could not eat for 30 days and be fine, right? Like, you might, like, start to lose some muscle and you might not feel good, right? But you could do it. So what's the worst that's going to happen, right? The worst that's going to happen is you're going to go through some keto flu symptoms where you just don't feel good. And then, then you focus on upping your electrolytes and you upping your fats, and, there's ways to mitigate. But, like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like, you can't tell me that there hasn't been 30 days in your life where you drank every night and you ate out every day. And, like, we've all had periods of our life where we're like, man, what were we doing? But we're afraid of eating a certain way for 30 days. The worst that happens is you get done with 30 days and you're like, yeah, I don't think I can do that long term. Yeah. Okay, well, at least right? At least you have given yourself a chance to feel better, because that's 99% of the times what people are searching for. They don't like the way they feel. It might be, it might illustrate its way as weight, but weight is a feel thing, right? Like, I feel heavy. I don't feel as good. I don't move as well. I don't sleep as well. I don't have enough energy. I want to feel better. And once you start feeling better, then you can move more. So anybody who's looking for diet changes, that's most of the time what it is. Just do it. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
do it.
They're clearly doing something consistently to get the result that they're having, and if you're being consistent somewhere, you can be consistent, A lot of people just fear change, I think, and I know, because I lost 23 kilos. I don't know how much that is in pounds, but I agree with people being sometimes afraid of change, because as you try to drop body fat, you're losing, like, layers of self, and you're actually having to become somebody new. And a lot of the time, like, I could see how I look and I know how I feel, but it took a long time to get rid of that old version of me. And people have been the same way for so long that they don't even know what it feels like or have any idea what it might feel like to be a new version of self who's healthy and well and, like, lighter and more energy. Like, they just don't know what that is. And I do the same thing when you said just do it for 30 days. Like, even do it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, do it for one day, like, just, you need to start somewhere. Just start. And oftentimes I pull it right back. I'm like, just do one thing. Please do one thing this week, and then consistently do it. And then next week, maybe do something else. Just, some people have to start really slow, or there's others that just jump straight in. Yeah.
And I tell them, if they're worried about it, just cut out processed foods. Let's just do that.
Yes.
If that's the only thing you do, it's going to be better.
Yes.
Right? Like, I don't know that I've ever met anybody who cut out processed foods and they're like, I feel worse. Like, I legitimately feel better when I'm eating Twinkies and Pop-Tarts. Like, I have never met somebody. No. Now, might they do that and be like, man, I don't know if I can stay strict with this. But now it's a trade-off, right? Your entire life is a trade-off. You trade your time for money in your job. Like, you go to a job you don't like to make money, to pay for a house that you're not in that often, to drive a car that you have to drive to work to get to, but you have to work to pay for. Like, your entire life is this, right? And so now your trade-off is, are my food choices worth how I feel and how I look? And that's all it comes down to. And so if it's one thing, just do processed food. Get rid of processed food. Yes. Like, that's the hill I will die on with people. And again, I'm not saying you can't eat processed foods, but I don't think we should be telling people, no, processed foods are fine. Just don't eat too much of it. No, just get rid of it. Get rid of it. And think you will see an amazing difference. And then you can choose to do with it as you will, but at least you know what you're dealing with.
Yes. Yes. And I was mostly doing a keto style of eating when I went to Carnivore. And so that's why I never got to really have the experience of the keto flu or the oxalate dumping, or, you know, that some of the side, the symptoms of jumping straight onto Carnivore. But I do know that people do have those experiences, but I just tell them to stick with it and push through, and eventually they'll feel a lot better. Yeah. Hey, somebody wrote before, do we take supplements? Do you take supplements?
So I mess around with supplements based on performance, but not to supplement my diet, if that makes sense. Right? Like,
yeah.
I'm the one that's like, oh, I like this pre-workout, but I don't like all of the stuff that's in it, so I buy the individual powders.
Yes.
Right? So I have like all of these supplements that I don't even use all the time, but it's single ingredient powders, right? Like, so this one I have my beta alanine, and then I have my citrulline malate, and then I have, you know, niacin and all of this stuff that I will then like concoct together. And none of it usually ends up making that big of a difference.
Yeah.
Right? But again, like that's how I approach most of my life is, can I make it a little better? Like, can I get a little bit better pump if I combine these 3 terrible tasting powders, and I take it like a shot and I try not to gag, right? Like, is it going to be better? No, not really better. Okay, cool. What if I take these supplements? Is blood work going to be better? And so I do take supplements, but nothing consistently, and nothing that I'm not getting from my diet. That's not why I do them.
Yes. Yeah. I don't take any supplements. Most recently, I've realized or noticed a big difference having a nice electrolyte, like a salt blend, in my water. And I wasn't doing that. And since I have been, I've noticed a big difference. So I do tell people on Carnivore to try to get their electrolytes in. Also, we've just come out of Australian winter, so I may not look it now because I've got a nice tan happening, but we've just gone through a winter and the sun's not out that often. So my vitamin D needed a bit of a boost, so I'm on a bit of vitamin D, but nothing else at all. And, you know, I used to be on so many supplements back when I was doing things a lot differently. I came from a juicing smoothie bowl, eat the rainbow kind of life. And I was taking a lot of supplements, and look, it worked because what you said about getting off of your standard diet and getting onto something a lot healthier, and it worked for me. I actually, back then, I think I was 26, I got diagnosed with tinnitus, so a ringing in the ear, they say never goes away. And I completely changed what I was eating and lifestyle choices and detoxing what I'm putting on my body and around me in the home, and it made a big difference. But, you know, I was taking supplements, and now it's just like, I don't really need any of that anymore. Yeah. Not the prettiest of diets, but it is good for you and doing great things. Hey, also, what do you cook with? Are you cooking with a ghee or a tallow or a suet or butter?
So the 3 I actually have a bunch of different ones. The main ones is I do have a duck fat one, duck fat, tallow, butter, ghee. Most of the time it's tallow for my steak and butter for my eggs, and that's pretty much all I cook with. But like I said, I do have the other ones. Do I notice a big difference? Not really. But I do, like, I have tried the ghee, I have tried the tallow. And like I said, I don't think it makes that big of a difference, so I usually just stick with what works. Yeah. So tallow and butter are the 2 that I cook with the most. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I get my meat from a grass-fed, grass-finished from a local farmer here in the hills, which is close by, thankfully. And I know exactly where my meat's coming from, and I'm using their beef suet, which is like some kind of fat in the liver, I think. So, and it tastes amazing cooking like that. So, yeah, beautiful. I'm just conscious of the time. I said to everybody, I said to JT, we've got 30 to 40 minutes, and now I'm looking at the time. It's been almost an hour. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. We could probably talk for a lot longer, but I will let you go. I'm conscious, you know, you've got your kids there and it's a Sunday evening. So Thank you so much for jumping on. Appreciate your time and your support and love from the other side of the world. And yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch and jump on again sometime.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Yeah. All the best. Have a great week ahead.
Yeah.
Bye.